I've wanted a pair of these construction jacks really since I became aware of their existence in the last year or so, and that was really when Dewalt and Irwin released theirs, and they were pretty widely publicized. A little research showed that the Viking arm, which was the original design, had been around for some time, and they were pretty widely used. I really liked the design of the Viking arm. It was all metal, didn't have any plastic. It seemed a little bit more compact. But I saw a YouTube video by a guy named Rob with Toolbox Buzz, and really it was on his YouTube channel, A Concord Carpenter, and I'll link that video in the description. But his video ended up being the video that compared the three jacks that I ultimately ended up really making my decision based on his video. So thanks to Rob. The one thing that I liked about the Dewalt, and the reason I was led to purchase the Dewalt, is that the handle, the trigger, you push down, and as opposed to the others, the Irwin and the Viking arm, where you have to squeeze the bottom trigger up. So I really appreciated that feature. I thought it might be handy for, while you're stabilizing something with your arms, you can kind of step on it with your foot. Also, you can kind of just put your whole weight on it, as opposed to relying on your grip strength to squeeze the trigger. So that's why I made the purchase. I got the Dewalt home. I've been using them. I really like them. But I also, in using them, realized that I think Rob may have misled some people in his video. So I wanted to clarify a couple things. I'm going to set the camera down here, my very crude camera holding rig, which also happens to be a Dewalt clamp. So I've created a little testing rig here where I've basically clamped the construction jack to the table. I've also clamped my set of calipers to the table, and I've got the dynamic jaw of the calipers set that when I raise and lower the jack, it will raise the calipers. So I wanted to show how precise the Dewalt can be, because in his video, Rob mentioned that one of the standout features of the Viking arm was its precision. And he said something like the Viking arm has a 1/32 inch raising and lowering increment, where the Dewalt had an 1/8 of an inch and the Irwin had 3/16 of an inch. So at the time, I didn't really think that would be a huge issue for me. So I went ahead and purchased the Dewalt knowing that it was going to be probably less precise. I did note at the time that one of the commenters on Rob's video said something like, okay, so if I'm really trying to get precise, I want to go with the Viking arm. But if I'm just doing good enough, the Dewalt is probably better in terms of just ergonomics and comfort and everything else. So I think others like myself may have been worried about that and may have been led to believe that Dewalt was only capable of discrete movements of an 1/8 of an inch. But that's really not true. And that's what I'm going to show you here. So I've bottomed out my calipers on the, we'll call it the arm of the jack. And I'm going to use the trigger, and I'm going to see what the smallest increment is that I can lift. Here, I'll give it a shot. So I was a little heavy-handed there. I just kind of went for it, but I got 0.08 of an inch. And the way that this is designed, it's not like a ratcheting mechanism where there's discrete steps. It's actually continuous. So I can push down on this, and you'll see it doesn't give at all. So that 0.08 of an inch was my total lift, and it's solid at that 0.08 of an inch. So I'm going to zero this and see if I can even do a little bit better. So I was just able to register 1/1000 of an inch, and you can see I'll push down on this. And I mean, I don't think you can ask for much better from what is ostensibly a woodworking tool than 1/1000 of an inch precision. So I rewatched the video, and I realized that maybe Rob was just referring to the lowering increment. So I thought, okay, well, let's test the lowering increment as well. So I'll zero this out again. What I'll do is lower it just a little bit. And then I'll push the calipers down, and you'll see I got -0.05. So I was able to lower 0.05, and again, it's rock solid. It's not moving. So I think this shows that really the precision in the raising and lowering is as precise as you can be with your hand, and is certainly good enough for carpentry type work. I actually use this a lot for metalworking, for holding things in place when I'm welding, and it's great for that, and it obviously has really great precision, which is what led me to make this video. Anyway, I want to say again, thanks to Rob for making that video. That comparison is ultimately what led me to purchase this jack, but I think this is a clarification that folks might be interested in. Thanks.